The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
The month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it has been celebrated in the United States since 1949. Now, in Trinidad and Tobago, we are now getting into a place where we take mental health seriously, and that's something that we advocate for inside the living room. So we know that we constantly have conversations on mental health, but now we're going to focus on giving you information as to where you can find mental health services, all right? Now, you can check out findcareTT.com. Yeah, that's www.findcareTT.com for a directory of service providers. You can also check out health.gov.tt, hit the services tab, and then hit the mental health tab. And that will also provide you a list of services in the various communities of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we know that suicide is a very prevalent topic and a very serious issue. So you can also check out lifelinett.com. That's lifelinett.com. And they also have toll-free numbers you can call if you are in distress. The numbers are 800-5588 and 866-5433. That's if you're calling from a B mobile or digital phone. Most importantly, that number is toll-free. You can also call 220-3636. The number again, 220-3636. If you are calling from a flow phone, all right? Remember, mental health is something that needs to be taken seriously. And as we say in the living room, you have to get holistically fit. So check out your mental health, guys. And remember, there are persons that can offer these services for you at discounted rates depending on the cases. So you can always make contact and see how best the service provider can assist. And we are doing our part to assist inside the living room by providing the information to you. It is currently 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago on the 2nd of May, 2023. If you don't know the station you're listening to, you probably need to look either right here if you're on YouTube to see the thing, or check the dial and you'll see 90.1 FM, the True Nation station. All right, where we are.
Culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of day and gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, the Tainos and the Kalanagos, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and sing it loudly that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony P, where the P this week stands for
predicament era.
What kind of predicament are you in?
Not I, you know. This is how we think. I just find it was disconcerting that one email could have compromised our health system, because apparently crime is a health issue. It could have compromised our education system. It could have compromised. Anyway.
Save that. Really and truly, guys, if you don't know the program you're listening to, this is The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. Remember that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro but a lot of flow.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage, the metaphor king.
Didn't I tell you last week not to say that?
What? You're not comfortable with the term king? All right, you know the metaphor prince. Or isn't metaphor is the problem? You have a problem. Yeah. The issues with metaphor.
The issues with the enunciation of the ending syllable of one word and the entirety of the following word. All right. As you brought that up, must say hello and good evening to all those that are locked on in the YouTube short box, especially Babash. I can't say the first part of his sobriquet on YouTube because it chat might find my email faster than the police will find the email of the person that sent that out last week Friday. But anyhow, but a pleasant good evening to all those locked on YouTube, all those on WAC TV, all on Facebook, all on the Dial 90.1 FM. Remember, there are so many ways you should have no excuse not to be logged on to the True Nation station. All right.
Aaron, I think we should also recognize the Trinis who in the country for borough. Point Fortin, Havington.
Thank you very much for recognizing me. I am in the country.
Hey, don't make joke. When you come down, when you touching?
I actually came home on Saturday.
All right. So when you say in the country, you mean you're calling Point Fortin country? Because I'll have Point Fortin is a whole borough, eh?
No, I never said that. The country like that, meaning that I am out and about and enjoying the festivities as much as possible. I want to say a special shout out as well. The past weekend was a Paria Fest / feast, and what would have brought the mass across. And if you don't know what a Paria Feast Day is, that is where they honor their patron saint, right, and parade the statue of La Divina Pastora through the streets of Saparia. It was really a great sight to behold. And shout out to Uncle Kenny for broadcasting the service across the platforms.
I am very glad to hear that you having a good cultural time, Aaron. I have not seen a single picture or video that would suggest such, so I'll just have to take your word for it.
No, you see, and that's the thing, as I admitted, I'm very poor at posting the things that I attend. Right, but I think I will. If I'll send you a picture and I could post it right here.
That could work.
Of the statue as it's passed on the outside of the church in Saparia.
Well, that's in it, man. I mean, I know that despite your presence on the people and them airwaves, that you are a very private guy as well too. So, I'm just trying to gently encourage you into somewhat of a discomfort zone. At the end of the day.
You mean more of a discomfort zone?
Gasp in astonishment. Why would you say such a thing?
But you know what? The amount of discomfort you are attempting to put me in or through is nothing like the level of discomfort which I will be putting Kenny through when that clash happens.
Why, sir, excuse. This is our family program. What kind of violence you propagating? Is threatening, man? On the people airwaves? No, sir. Come on, man. Are you talking about the clash?
Yeah, the clash. The Kaiso clash.
Nice. It is not the same Kaiso clash where he actually acknowledged your relevance as a pair and well, I wouldn't call it discomfort. It looked like he embracing it, but his recognition of you as a competitor for the throne?
Yeah. But anyway, when the promo drop later this week, you'll hear all the gun talk and all them different things. But anyhow, no, but really and truly, guys, Borough Week is now upon us. We are a couple days away from the first Borough Juve in 3 years, as well as the first Pan event in Borough for 3 years. And then I think Bedrock is on Sunday, as well as many other festivities over the weekend. So if you are so inclined to make your way down to the Borough of Point Fortin, please be safe. I encourage you not to drink and drive. But if you drink and drive, there are many taxi/travel services which you can employ to take you to and from your destination safely. Something else I have to talk about at Point. Hey, Ole, when you go down Point, be mindful of the road. I was down there last night and it has some kind of critters in the road. So please be mindful.
Would. Also want to acknowledge that there are several new types of events. I see there's a mayor's ball and that type of thing that went on. So, I'm right point. Show off.
Yeah, Point is they had a whole month worth of activities and they continue to have as well. Shout out to Damian Melville and the Demi Melville Entertainment team for the first individual rhythm section competition, which took place on Friday. I fell asleep before the victor was announced.
All right.
Yeah, because my falling asleep on Friday was in conjunction with the fact that Golden State lost on Friday. So I was just,
Yeah, well, they went on to win Sunday, so...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, them young boy got the time.
Exactly, and now we have the matchup which Ingrid and I tuned into focus for. Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors, and game 1 is tonight.
Ain't you supposed to make a goal suit for you or something like that? How much years now?
Yeah, that was the year that during the pandemic when the Lakers won the championship in the COVID restrictions now.
No, in the bubble, right.
In the bubble, but I don't feel that counted.
Cool. But anyway, that between the two, let us sort out.
I'm not wearing a gold suit.
Yeah. Yeah, you in a gold suit.
Gold is not my color, honestly.
And all our gold is you wearing when you go out? What you getting on with?
You see, that's just a small chain. When you're talking gold, a whole gold suit, come on, man. Am I Nelson?
Wow.
Am I Lord Nelson?
You know, as we segued into our artists and performers, are you aware of the altercation that occurred at the airport?
Brother man, here we're going on with the altercation. The last time I went to the airport to pick up somebody and I parked close to the arrivals lounge, the police was running me.
Before you pull up your handbrake?
Before I pull up my handbrake. But you tell me a man, according to something I saw on Twitter, a man filmed John Wick 4.
You telling me? These fellas at times scramble, take a break, go back in for round 2, right? And security eventually made themselves present. Anyway, I just saying, and I echo the sentiments that in Trinidad, for some reason, we'd be bad for the wrong people now. Right? You telling me that there was an incident that went on for minutes before security presence was recorded. I'm not going to say that they weren't on the scene. I'm not going to say that they weren't there. I'm not going to say that they didn't intervene. I'm going to reference what was recorded.
Because we wasn't there to see.
We weren't there. But the footage suggested that by the second entanglement of the second engagement, the second round of the fight was when security presence was recorded. So anyway, they will leave that way it is. I'm sure we have much more positive things that we could speak on this week. For instance, Vonnet Bigford's stellar performance at the International Jazz in Tobago last week. Right?
I know you're a fan of Vonnet.
Yeah. I mean, go initiate the stage with Coffee and Boys to Men and them kind of thing, or rather, they get to share the stage with Vonnet. They get through.
Yeah. Some other artists I wanted to shed some light on as well. There are a lot of younger artists putting out a lot of work, right? And they are putting out positive work. So they're not lining up to the quote-unquote trendy bad music or genre that is trending. So they are singing soca, calypso, rap, R&B, a lot of positive music coming out from the youths of Trinidad and Tobago. And the list is too long to call. So I just want to shed some light on that, as well as there's a gentleman, a particular citizen of Trinidad and Tobago that I want to hang my hat to this week. Mr. John Jagannath. He's a junior Sami truck driver, right? He entered the waters in the swamp near the Carnival Sanctuary to assist a motorist trapped in an overturned vehicle. I'm not getting down into certain aspects of this story, but this happened on Thursday, the 27th of April, around 1 a.m. And he saved a gentleman from Ivor Circular in Pleasantville who picked up a skid and ended up on his hood in the river, right? So thank you very much, Mr. Jagannath, for your exemplary behavior to save a citizen in peril, right?
Kudos.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah. But you know what? Most donkeys have tails. And I want to talk about the 36th moment of the week. You see the rainfall last week that resulted in the flooding last week, right? And apparently, I don't know, I could call people Captain Cacahole on the radio, or should refrain from doing something like that.
The views expressed by Ricardo Mitchell are not the views of Aaron Williams or WAP 90.1 FM.
Anyway, all I'm saying is that a crossover utility vehicle does not mean it could cross over everything, right? Apparently, you decide you're driving a Porsche Cayenne, but with the modifications and upgrades, you end up driving a Porsche Kayak because you see water and decide you could traverse it.
I could try one here.
You go ahead, Ira.
That Porsche cannot traverse flood waters.
It can't. It can't. Right? Well, what I'm saying, right, is between you and me. I want to tip my hat to the Dumo driver who stopped and assisted, because it was, people don't understand how easily these things end tragically. If it was not for a railing that the vehicle was washed up against, they would have been swept away. What I'm saying is, use all your sense, now, man. Right? You could drown in 6 inches of water. Right? A foot of water is enough to move a vehicle. 2 feet of water is more than enough to move even a larger vehicle. Right? Oh gosh, Olia. Let me not have to go through these things now. Right? Nothing is a problem until there's a problem. And you decide to drive across a river in your Porsche. You know what? Cool. Kudos. 36.
I am not.
36 and not out. Anyway.
I actually, as we say this, I'm trying to scroll through Instagram to see if I could find the advisory that the ODPM constantly puts out whenever there is a flood, and they say, do not traverse through flood waters.
Mm-hmm.
How much times does the ODPM have to tell us adults? Because to drive a car in Trinidad and Tobago, you need to be over the age of 17, I think it is, or 18, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So he's an adult, essentially.
Right.
Stick break in the hands?
You see, my thing is, Aaron, I just don't want a dead dotish, you know. I understand and have come to terms with the mortality that we must all face sooner or later, but I don't want a dead dotish. You could imagine having to put on your nice long sleeve black shirt and come and stand up in my funeral, right? Because I dead dotish? Well, boy, the water was deeper than he thought. He thought they would have make it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. He was late.
You know what thought make a man do?
Apparently, have to get rescued from a Dumo driver.
But I think what is even worse on that story is the fact that the person saw a tractor. A tractor.
Mm-hmm.
You think with the big wheels? That is excavate. They saw a tractor. I'm trying to stress here. A tractor.
And they were attracted.
And they were attracted to their pending ill fate of getting stuck.
Oh gosh.
And for the persons who don't know what a tractor is, Ricardo so brilliantly put a photo up right there.
You can get that. My word.
A tractor. But anyway, that's not what we come here to talk about today. Somebody else had to wipe my feet on, and somebody else.
Hey, something that... while you're thinking, I want to send good evening, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to John, driving taxi between Gasparilla and Marabella. He's a WAC listener. I jumped in the vehicle the other morning, and heading to Purple Cow, right, Marabella to Marabella, and I realized this man is playing WAC. That's well, alright, then I engage him in a little conversation, and he's an avid listener. But one of the reasons I want to hang my hat as well is because the sun was about, no exaggeration here, it could have been about 73 degrees Celsius. It was blazing hot that morning. Okay, maybe it's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was blazing hot. right? And the gentleman proceeded to, one, stop picking up passengers so that there were only 2 people in the back seat, and then he wind up the windows and put on the AC because the comfort of his passengers was more important to him at that point. And I want to thank him for that because
he had a celebrity in the car.
Well, no, he do it before I reveal myself. And you know what? I will take it. Celebrity. You know what? Maybe not so much the 400 or 500 people on my Instagram. I acknowledge them. I don't know if that will put me in celebrity status yet. But I still had to introduce myself, so I ain't reach. He knew you though. Apparently, Aaron, your presence on the radio more than mine seems to be working in your favor. So I just want to big up John. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the encouragement and for considering your passengers. Yeah. You find who you want to wipe your foot on yet?
Yes. So, I'll get the pit just to make sure and wipe my foots properly on this scenario.
Long time we get foot wipe. Mm-hmm.
So, whoever at Beeble.com.
At Beeble.com?
Yes, at Beeble.com.
Yeah, let's spell that to me.
Beeble.
Okay.
For sending out an erroneous and erratic email which sent our country into uproar last week Friday. Oh, you didn't see the email?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. Something right. I don't want to give too much.
Right.
Because I'm guessing that there's an ongoing investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever at Beeble.com, you sent our nation not into euphoria, but into problems last week Friday. Many persons were enraged and engulfed in despair at that action. Because you made parents have to leave work early to go and secure their wards or their children. I work next to a school, and it was not pleasant seeing parents speeding in to make sure that your threat was not going to come to fruition. And to the persons of Trinidad and Tobago who took it as an opportunity to make memes, I understand that one of our watchwords is here for the comments. But in a serious scenario like what took place last week, this is not one of those occasions for us to be here for the comments. We need to take things a little more seriously in Trinidad and Tobago, because we have our ministers perpetrating themselves as persons of authority, but not understanding that crime is not a health issue.
Not bad.
So for those in authority who sit in their lofty seats or their padded chairs or their air-conditioned offices while persons continue to travel in the heat without air condition, unlike what John did for his passengers.
Big up John. But
they continue to sit and look at our nation in despair because not enough employment opportunities are being presented because persons are being brought back on contract after they turn the age of 60. You cannot tell me that crime is a health issue when socially and structurally we are not taking the necessary precautions to ensure that employment opportunities are presented to those at younger ages when they come out of university after accessing the GATE program. But there's a whole other thing with that GATE program.
You know, I don't want to be this guy, but you kind of hit. Anyway, forget. I was going to inquire as to the age of our current commissioner of police.
The one who just told us that we need Jesus to fix crime?
Ulla Haywood Christopher.
Yeah, she said that we need Jesus to fix the crime problem.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think Trinidad needs Jesus on the whole. But I'm just curious as to her age.
Probably upwards of 55. But I understand the point that we need Jesus. However, I keep saying, prayer without action is a waste to the nation.
She's, according to the Trinidad Express, she's 59 though.
A year away from retirement, but then again, our Prime Minister is how old?
So, as you were saying about people needing Jesus, the fact remains is that yes, I firmly believe that. I also believe that the persons in authority have chosen those paths so that they could execute functions, not so? If you behind a desk with a stamp and a signature so that you can facilitate certain things being done in a fashion that benefits the citizenry, I'm curious as to why it's not being done. We are spending $50 billion a year to run the country. 50 billion plus a year to run the country. You hearing what I'm saying, Aaron? Every other year is 100 billion jump out. Aaron, in a 5-year span, we would have gone through $250 billion. You get what I'm saying, Aaron? You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of money for us to be in the position that we're in with the scale of problems we have in every arena.
We get down into this now?
From your accountant, your accounting hat, or your journalistic social criticism?
Social criticism more than anything.
Let me go to social commentary. Yeah.
If you look at it this way, right? $50 billion a year, which is distributed among our various government ministries. Mm-hmm. But yet still, at least 80 to 85% of that $50 billion every year is attributed to recurrent expenditure. How do you expect to get new solutions when everything is figured and featured?
When you say recurrent expenditure, like what, Mr. Williams?
Salaries, rent.
Rent? But what sort of rent would we be paying that could possibly use that chunk? Anyway, you know what? That's a question for other people to.
I want to say. So that's why I didn't want to get down into exact figures.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, if 80 to 85% of the annual budget is featured to recurrent expenditures, how do we expect to find new solutions? So this is something that we talk about on Inquisitive Minds, Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Research and development is a very important part of progress.
How we could spend any money on research and development when we're spending 80 to 85% of the money on the ongoing?
Exactly.
How could we prepare for what's supposed to come next when we're spending 4/5 to 5/6 of the money? Right? That's like literally you're sending me by the parlor with $1, right? And I could only buy 15 cents worth of things because it cost me 85 cents to get there.
Or even worse, the fact that the average salary of the persons in Trinidad and Tobago varies between $6,000 to $8,000. Imagine that 80% of that is spent on rent, groceries, and getting to work.
Which is real.
Which is the real scenario that a lot of us are in.
Hey, I do want to tip my hat though to Trinidad and Tobago's generally free or affordable educational system and our healthcare. Just wanna throw my hat out there and say, God bless our healthcare system and those who are struggling to make the most with what they have.
And now remember who was the second person or the third person that I wanted to wipe my feet on this week.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. How dare they put out a headline on the front page of your papers with the words, just now scrolling here because I make sure and retweet it. I was very upset when I saw it. They put out a headline that people chose a life of crime. Youth, jobless, forced into a life of crime. This was the headline on the Sunday Guardian on the 23rd of April. forced into a life of crime. Is that the message that you are sending? What level of journalism is that?
I fail to see what your problem is.
Really?
Yes.
So you rather, or journalists put out something saying that people are forced into a life of crime?
Well, what if the thing that they are talking about is so? I don't know, that you've just given me a headline. We haven't discussed the article. We don't know exactly what it is they're talking about.
And that is exactly my point.
Question. Somebody who comes to Trinidad and Tobago to work has their passport seized by the person who brought them into the country and puts them into prostitution. Aren't they forced into a life of crime?
They're forced into a life of prostitution, yes.
Isn't prostitution illegal?
Yes, it is.
So they're forced into a life of crime.
Right.
What I'm saying is that there are circumstances under which that headline might be completely acceptable and accurate. So the premise is I can't have a problem with it if I don't know what it's about.
Right, but what I'm saying is that scenario that you're talking about is a specific one where the following lines after the headline you think that'll be a front page article?
Well, it depends.
I'm just asking. No, just asking.
Why not? If it's a pressing issue, why not? The thing is, if it's an opinion and something better served for a page 10 or 12, well then fine, but I can't have a problem with a headline if I don't know what the article's saying. Unless the headline in itself is erroneous. And I just saying, I will take a read and I'll be all well and good to have a conversation with this about you.
Right.
About this with you next week.
No, but what I'm saying is, for me, the front page of a paper, you're putting out a headline like that without any context.
So the article wasn't on the...
No.
They didn't start the article anything?
No.
Story on page, whatever?
Yeah.
So it's clickbait. But that's what headline is, though, to get your attention, to get you to engage the rest of the medium. So, hey, I all for having a conversation about this and this type of thing with you next week. Because remember, we had a conversation last year. I might follow it up.
Yeah, but for me, those kind of headlines, yes, I understand. Headlines sell peeps. Sorry, I was going back into my musical days there. Headlines sell papers. But for me, sometimes the level of journalism, it leaves a lot for me that sometimes I don't want to read the papers thereafter.
Yeah. We could probably dig into that.
We could dig into that a little bit more. I'll go on and see if I find the papers.
Yeah. Definitely want to I want to acknowledge Mental Health Awareness Month and we in May. And to do so, I think we have some contributions from our special segments with Please and Tankoo, with Dana Tankoo. What the Franz?
No, remember, we don't say it like that. WTF. What the Franz?
And returning after, should I say honeymoon by? Anyway.
Hiatus.
Hiatus. Yeah, 8 words. Now, Willy with a Y. So let's get into that.
Boom.
Good night and welcome to another installment of Willy with a Y, all you listeners of WAC Radio 90.1 FM. I just want to say thank you to Ricardo and Aaron for allowing me to touch on this topic tonight. As some of us may know and the majority might not, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month and we are all about seeking to protect your mental well-being. This is tough. These are tough times out here now, and we know that some of us might be under a little more stress than others given the state of the economy and everything, but it is always best to seek your well-being and to protect and preserve your mental health. And one of the ways you can do that is through exercise. And it doesn't take much, 10, 15 minutes out of your day. We always find time for things that we want to do. And I think protecting your mental health should be something that is high up on your list of priorities. So it doesn't take much. As I said, 10-15 minutes out of your day. You could do as little as walking. You could do some bodyweight exercises at home. If you would allow me to, I can send a program through Ricardo and Aaron, because I myself have created a group on Facebook where we're challenging folks to keep accountability of each other and to promote exercise and well-being. So if it is that your listeners need to or would like to come on board, you can message Aaron or Ricardo, as the case may be, and they would get on to me and you can be added to the Facebook group. We are all about accountability. We are all about protecting your mental health, and it's not going to take much. 10 minutes out of your day, 15 minutes out of your day, and get yourself a little working, a little exercise, and preserve your mental health. So that's all for this week. Thank you for tuning in, and this was Willy with a Y.
Hello friends, my name is Tankoo, and today I'm going to be sharing a thought or two with you. May is all about mental health, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So Ricardo asked me to give my best mental health tip. And my best mental health tip is cut it off. Cut off everything that does not serve you. Think of yourself like a beautiful flowering plant. When flowering plants have dead leaves at the bottom and dead flowers on them, it sucks up nutrients that can be more beneficial to the rest of the plant. Cut it off, save your nutrients, and become a better you. Listen, don't be afraid of stepping away from things that are toxic for you. And you may not necessarily realize that it is, but take a moment, maybe talk to somebody. I'm looking at you. I don't actually mean maybe. You really should talk to somebody. Open up yourself to getting constructive advice when it comes to maintaining your peace and being a better you. I had a whole write-up talking about the internal and external locus of control and how I expanded it to the internal and external locus of assurance, comfort, security, because in my journey of bettering my mental health, I realized that the actions needed to come from me. The changes needed to happen within me, and they were happening to benefit me. So what I'm really saying is put less emphasis on the external locus of whatever factor and prioritize your internal work. And in prioritizing your internal work, you are going to realize that you have to also remove yourself from environments that are not good for you. Separate how something makes you feel versus how you feel about it. If it makes you feel bad, you don't need to be there. Now, I'm saying this within reason, because some people's jobs may make them feel a little bad, but they can't just separate themselves from the job, if you get what I'm saying. So, appropriately used, separate yourself from the things that make you feel very bad to work on making yourself feel better and being, once more, a better you. So, I'm going to close off by just saying, don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to cut it out. Please, I'm Tankoo.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So here's a quick mental health check-in. If you suffer from depression and you are not getting enough sleep, eating well, or exercising regularly, then you're not even giving yourself a fighting chance. Bonus points for increasing your sun exposure and taking uncomfortably cold showers on a morning. These are all strategies that I myself use to mitigate my own symptoms. So start checking off those boxes and give yourself a fighting chance. And if you suffer chronically from depression or anxiety, OCD, or any other mental health malady, I recommend therapy. It works. So start checking those boxes. Keep up the fight. What the Franz.
Thanks very much, guys, for those tips. And in the true nature of how we are transparent inside the living room, Ricardo, what are your tips? Your top tip?
My top tip for preserving my mental health is actually that I put my phone on silent as much as possible. As much as possible, I leave my phone on silent. It is one of my ways of controlling how much information and engagement I process during the course of the day. It is a step that I take in terms of the mindfulness that I have regarding how much communication I can handle. And not only that too, because I work remotely, cell phones, laptops, etc., I can't have all these notifications going off and the phone vibrating every time somebody sends a text message and that type of thing. So for me, cell phone on silent, notifications off. It's usually within eyesight, so I could see if it's ringing, and if I do miss it, well, then it gives me the option of calling back or not. But sad to say, it is a necessary level of control that I have to have. That and pretty much trying to get 8 hours sleep, 7 to 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours sleep every night. Okay, yeah. Worst case scenario 6, best case scenario 8, 8:10, 8:15. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Williams?
How much time we have?
Well, is all of that you doing to what? All right, you go ahead. Don't worry, we're gonna make time. I'll cut what I earlier rants short if I have to.
What do I do to optimize my mental health? Honestly, it's a day-to-day thing, right? And I'll lead this by saying, prior to 2021, I never used to take mental health as seriously as I do now. When I say that, my mental health, right? So for me, having regular checkups with my quote-unquote therapist, right, at least once every 3 months, thereabout. But in terms of daily things, my similar to Ricardo, my phone is always on silent, and only select persons, when they message, I get a message on my watch. Right? So similar to you, the amount of information I process. I try not to engage in negative banter. Exercise. I also have at least 2 hours of no phone time per day. A lot of the time that no phone time is spent either at the gym or sweating.
Right.
So the no phone time is coupled with engaging in some sort of physical activity for physical well-being. I have a strict cutoff time as well for all devices of 10 p.m. The only time that is disobeyed is if I am actually at a job. And also, I don't watch reality TV.
Hey, and I really want to thank Franz, Willy, and Dana for kicking us off with this part of the conversation, because several of the things that they mentioned, I definitely roll with 100%. The other element of it that I failed to mention is that I am reprioritizing myself. I am making sure that I take care of myself. I have this horrible habit of giving more than I can afford to financially.
Refueling. Yes, refueling me there all the time.
And every now and again, I've learned that I have to come down. Big up Miguel for pointing this out to me. While I can't refuel me there, I can't do maintenance up there. So every now and again, I have to come down, disconnect, detach, and do what it takes to make sure that I could function properly. It is not just about being able to keep going, right? Because it's not just about the fuel. It's about the function, right? It's about how well you go forward, how well you're managing. And yeah, case in point, Tranquility Beauty Spa, big up Candice, always so helpful and supportive. And for being a fundamental part of me being able to say that I feel taken care of. And I feel like I care about myself enough to make a little time for myself. Right? Jed, we really had to do better, because the thing is, the world is full of givers and takers, right? the taker's not going to stop taking. The givers have to learn how to manage their giving.
Correct, that's right.
Right? So you have to give yourself a little bit too. Pay yourself first then. You know? So I am, I guess, grateful for the opportunities to learn and to serve, and for the ways to learn to serve better, including serve myself a little bit. Because for some reason we just feel like self-service is selfish, and that is not so. Yeah. And also, I also decided to wear a polo jersey a little more frequently.
Yeah, once it has sleeves, keep it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try thing. Oh, you know, I have not worn a polo jersey without sleeves in a little while. Thanks for that, Aaron. It coming soon.
Father,
It coming soon. Mental Health
help
Awareness
your
Month, guys.
children.
Hey, one other thing I had to
And though they
mention.
might fall by the side
I hope all your clashing not biting the man
of the
styles too, eh?
road. Here now, I have a special tune to bust out in that clash, you know.
I have a unnaturally high per capita of psychologists friends. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm pretty certain for like every 5 people I know, one of them is a therapist in some form or fashion. So that does also help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see where this going.
No, just trying it out there as one of the things that has helped me manage my mental health now. I usually have mindfulness conversations and decompression sessions, and you know, just discussing the things that I'm navigating, I'm challenging day to day. Case in point, like with JL, a resident of the living room, she and I working on a program called Chit Chat with 2 T's, where she sits and has regular conversations with all kinds of people, just to help normalize mental health discussion. And being able to witness those conversations, sitting on them, to speak with the guests before and after, that type of thing. All of that, just being in a space where we're fostering mental well-being. That stuff helps and it counts. So the same way you say you don't engage in negative banter, I actually engage in positive conversations.
And something that honestly helps me a lot too is music. Yeah. 80% of my workday I spend listening to music.
Wait. You say you spend 80% of your workday listening to music?
Correct, is right.
Cool. You're better than me, and I'm working from home.
Honestly, and this is something that a lot of persons don't know. To be able to play so much music, you need to know a lot of music. And you don't just want to know the things that you are comfortable about. So like a lot of the things I listen to is what is quote unquote trending today. Even though I don't play a lot of it, I still listen to it. Because in it I get a lot of instrumentals,
Right.
a lot of ideas about ways I could make it work for me.
You're trying to give Kenny tips on how to match your attacks? What happening here?
There's no way Kenny could match my attacks. You know, remember there was an age-old saying that they say, if you go to jail and they want to prove your badness, you just find the baddest man and spar with him. I still didn't find the baddest man yet.
So you can take any for now.
I didn't say that, but thanks.
Well, might be more perilously close to more than one thing this evening, boy.
Hey guys, thank you very much for spending the last hour with us inside the living room. A lot is going on in our country. A lot is going on around the world. So we implore that you be safe in whatever you're doing, and also to look after yourself. And when I say look after yourself, I don't mean go and look at yourself in the mirror when you're walking past to look after. But look after yourself. Look after your mental health. Because as we always say, getting fit is not just going in the gym for an hour a day, or going and be able to run Alexander Hill, which I still can't do, or go on the 100 steps 9 o'clock in the hot sun like what Franz just tried to do.
No, not try. Not try. He has succeeded. He's one of them fellas. He's running 100 steps a warm up.
It's ridiculous. Anyhow, it's not just about being physically fit, financially fit, emotionally fit, mentally fit. It's holistic or spiritually fit. It is holistic. Look after yourself. And I'm speaking particularly to every member of our society. Man, woman, and child. I'm not going and talk about those who want to. Anyway, I'm not even say it because we might get flagged. But man, woman, and child, look after yourself. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. If you need to go to a doctor today, do it. And as Ricardo said, our healthcare system is mainly free. You can check out your clinic in the area. What happened there?
No. I just remember a story that I want to tell. But because I did not witness it firsthand, I just saying that while I may have praised the healthcare system, that does not mean that there aren't individuals within it who practice some very unsavory and unethical behavior.
You're talking about the doctors and them that is tell you check them in private practice.
Or even use the public facilities to perform and then charge.
And with that being said, you have been in tune to the living room on the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM. I am DJ Aaron, and I remind you, I am DJ Aaron 868, and I remind you that culture is my code. I also tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them, guys. To them doctors, stop doing it. Ricardo?
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the local stage, the metaphor space king. Reminding you guys that the hourglass is opaque.
That does not make it any better.
You see, it was normal until you drew attention to it, Aaron. Anyway, yeah, we don't know how much time remains. The hourglass is opaque, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Yeah, guys?
That's like saying, just give me the phone, space, Annie.
Go on and answer your phone.
Listen, that's what is up next with the big man.
Keep it locked.
Ooh, yeah. I like to walk naked. Yeah, don't let them tell you what to do with your reality, cause only you know what that is. A reason if it snows, a reason for a river and the places that it flows, a reason for the rain, a reason for the pain, knowing deep inside my soul that I would rise again. Cause the more I listen is the more I hear, and the more I learn is the less I fear, and the more I feel is the more I care, and the more them people dress it up is the less I wear. Cause I like to walk naked, naked I like to walk, naked away from Wall Street paintings and poets buying yards of fabric law. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. They fill my head with lead me never to grow a dread, 'cause that's the right way to think. They teach me foreign history till I don't know nothing about me. Still Rastas can work in banks, and they call that equality. Well, tell John Hawkins to have a kite, buy some trade and fly away. Midnight rubber and peregrinade is we history lesson today. Is we history lesson today. Oh, is we history lesson today. 'Cause I like to walk naked. Naked I like to walk. Naked away from Wall Street paintings and poets buying yards of fabric to make pretty the rhythmic talk. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. For the seasons, a reason if it snows, a reason for a river and the places that it flows, a reason for the rain, a reason for the pain, knowing deep inside my soul that I would rise again. 'Cause the more I listen, is the more I hear, and the more I fear, and the more I feel, is the more I care, and the more them fakers dress it up, is the less I wear. 'Cause I like to walk naked, naked I like to walk, naked away from Wall Street paintings and poets buying yards of fabric, yards of fabric, Lord. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. To make pretty the rhythmic talk. Yeah, to make pretty the rhythmic talk. For the seasons, a reason if it snows.